Top 10 MLB drafts of all time. Number 10, the 2011 MLB draft. So, looking at drafts, really it's based upon just how successful it's been through the draft class. Specifically, like the guys that have been drafted, like how have they benefited? Has there been so many guys that have really benefited from just overall being being drafted in that year, you know. So the more stars you got in a draft that become superstars, obviously the better. But anyway, 2011 draft. So what happened in 2011 draft? Well, the first pick in the draft was Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole has been pretty much proving to be a go-to guy, a number one starter. Um, One of those guys that really is kind of the future of the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. I understand with the whole, they got McCutcheon, the guy, but like he is like their ace, he is their go-to guy. Like I said, just overall, he's magical for sure. Garrett Cole, and he's only 25. So then you have Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer is now on the Cleveland Indians. He was drafted by the Diamondbacks, but he's on the Cleveland Indians now, and he's actually proven to be a pretty decent pitcher actually right now. So that's always in his favor. Anthony Rendon, unfortunately for him, injuries. He had such a great MVP type caliber season. Got some injuries stuck in there, but it doesn't matter. Anthony Rendon is definitely proven to be very, very much reliable um, in the league. So overall, he's been pretty solid this year. Um, then you have Archie Bradley, another young guy that really has yet to, he's trying to prove himself for sure. And again, he's only 23, so he's still got some time. Just overall, he's trying to do his best, so that's good. Javier Baez, we all know about Javier Baez. He had some, family-related issues and stuff, but he got it fixed. He's definitely going to be a star in this league. Francisco Lindor, great shortstop for the Indians, superstar there. George Springer, superstar outfielder. Jose Fernandez, superstar starting pitcher, of course. CJ Cron has been pretty productive at LA. Sonny Gray has been a great starting pitcher. Um, Colton Wong has been such a great key part for the Cardinals. Joe Ross has been pretty good in San Diego. Joe Panic, one of those MVP caliber players. Partially why the San Francisco Giants won that 2014 World Series. Then you go like the supplemental type first round. Jackie Bradley Jr. How's he turned out? He's turned out into an all-star right now. Tyler Godell is now a Philly. He's doing pretty good right now. Trevor Story, great amazing story from this guy. He is in the home run derby. He's an unbelievable player for sure. And then you just look at players that are other notable that got into the round. You're looking at Daniel Norris, still proven, but definitely pretty good, solid right now. You look down the list, Tony Cingrani, another guy trying to prove himself. Cody Ash is still trying to prove himself. Mookie Betts, superstar outfielder. Marcus Simeon, pretty good shortstop. Um, you also have Kyle Hendricks, that's pretty good, Chicago. Travis Shaw, Seth Maness, Carlos Rodon. Uh, also, you had Billy Burns and Kevin Pillar has been terrific actually for their respective teams. So overall, it was a great draft. Definitely deserving to be on this list. Though. Number 9, the 1999 MLB draft. So this is definitely a draft that some people will look at and say, hey, I think the 2011 draft was better. 2011 draft was good, but they have not really proven to being truly a reliable core of guys yet, as much as 99. That pretty much was a symbolization of just overall quality stars. So overall, you're looking at Josh Hamilton. Josh Hamilton at one point was a 40 home run MVP caliber candidate type player. Josh Beckett, he helped Marlins win the 2003 World Series. Again, at one point was a Cy Young contender right there. Barry Zito, we all know about Barry Zito. He was one of the top three in that really great core rotation of the Oakland A's back in the early 2000s, and was um, unexpectedly just a hero in the 2012, I believe, or 2010. I'm not sure, but one of those World Series with the Giants. Ben Sheets um, earlier was a little bit better, so I'm not going to talk much about Ben Sheets because he did not prove much to be worth much. Alex Rios did prove to be actually exceptionally valuable. You know, he played for the White Sox for a while, and yes, he did play for the Blue Jays, but the White Sox he'll be most recognized for. Overall, pretty good career overall as a utility type guy. Um, you look down, you're like, well, Brian Roberts also had a pretty good, productive career in terms of he was a pretty good role player. Kobe Lewis never got to the All Star game, but he was definitely exceptionally pretty talented baseball pitcher, and he actually was a pretty good, pretty key piece of the rotation. Um, and then you go down, and you're like, well, I mean, not many great first round picks, no. But you have to go down to where it's the other notable players, where it's the other rounds, and you're looking at a Carl Crawford, which at one point was an MVP and one of the best guys to steal bases, just unbelievable. Brandon Phillips, um, still one of those guys that you still have high regards of because he's been a pretty excellent second baseman as of his career. Ryan Ludwig used to be so great, just fell out apart. John Lackey was always a very productive pitcher, always a guy that you had to prepare for. Justin Morneau became a reliable hitter, a really good hitter actually for the Minnesota Twins and a legend there, as well as the Colorado Rockies. Um, and then you had Cody Ross, hero for the Giants. Angel Pagan, another hero for the Giants, another key piece, another utility guy. J.J. Putz was one time extremely valuable to the Arizona Diamondbacks as a relief pitcher. Shane Victorino, we all know, key piece to the Phillies. Great guy, key piece to the Red Sox. You know that grand slam there. Coco Crisp, Aaron Harang, Marlon Byrd. Just some guys that really were great utility. Should have been a little more, if they were a little more like consistent, they could have been better than just a utility guy. Mark Ellis, Greg Dobbs, Garrett Jones, Jake Peavy, um, Ryan Rayburn, Lyle Overbay. These guys were all Adam LaRoche. These guys were guys that really you were like, hey, they were actually pretty good baseball players. And then you have, I think, the steal of the '99 draft, which was to get Albert Pujols on the 13th round, which he is going to be bound to be one of probably the best player from the Dominican Republic and one of the best hitters and one of the best first basemen of all time, possibly. So a good draft from the '99 draft. Not the best draft, obviously. That's why I got 9, but they're more proven than 2011. Number 8, the 2002 MLB Draft. So the first overall pick actually showed up on my countdown when it came to first round bust, the Brian Bullington. Other than that, the second round pick, he became to be pretty good. He's having a pretty solid season right now with the San Diego Padres, and that is Melvin Upton Jr. Then after you go down the line, Zach Greinke, Prince Fielder, superstar guys. Prince Fielder, superstar first baseman. Zach Greinke, he's an all-star starting pitcher that can pitch his heart out for sure. Having Joe Saunders. Joe Saunders was pretty solid. Like I said, pretty solid pitcher as well. Back for a couple of years there. Scott Kazmir proved to be pretty reliable at starting pitcher for the Rays and for the Astros. Nick Swisher and still keep on going, and he's still a threat. Cole Hamels is still a threat. He was proven to be very valuable when the '08 Phillies won the World Series. Denard Span, James Loney, Jeff Francoeur, Matt Cain for a little bit. These guys all were drafted this year, and that just shows the talent, the pool of talent there. They're all very talented guys. And then you got, Joey Votto in the later rounds. You got Lester, Broxton, Jesse Kane, Brian McCann, Curtis Granderson. Um, you you have Pat Neshek, Brandon Moss, um, Howie Kendrick. You had you have also like Phil Koch, Kyle McClellan, um, Russell Martin. So you got guys that are very, very talented, um, still very reliable and still very productive right now. Still keeping on going strong. So overall, not like I cannot um, put them as one of the weaker drafts. Obviously, these past three drafts, 2011 will succeed, 99 and 2002. It's just 99 and 2002 has more experience under their belt and they've proven themselves a little more than 2011. But 2011 will officially become um, higher than these two because these two drafts were pretty weak compared to other drafts that I saw on the countdown. Number seven, the 2005 MLB Draft. And that is the draft. This is where it turns around. This is where you just see a lot of talent, a pool of talent in the drafts. 2005 off the bat, Justin Upton. Justin Upton is very key to baseball, very key to every team he goes to. He's such a star. He's such a stud. He's a superstar everywhere he goes. So everywhere you need to know where he is. Alex Gordon, reliable, Gold Glover, just unbelievable player. Ryan Zimmerman at a point where he's 30 home run type of guy. Right now he's slowing down, but it's all right. Ryan Braun, NL MVP. Ricky Romero was pretty decent pitcher before he was, I would say, injured or just he just lost his lack of control really. Troy Tulowitzki, big part to the Blue Jays. Andrew McCutchen, superstar center fielder. I'd say behind Mike Trout for sure. Andrew McCutchen is he's insane. Jay Bruce, another insane center fielder that I love watching to death. Jacoby Ellsbury, another center fielder that's a stud. That's definitely producing very well for the New York Yankees right now. Colby Rasmus, another stud center fielder that is very young and he's producing for and he's playing for the Houston Astros. Clay Buchholz at one point was a possible Cy Young Award winner. Unfortunately, he did not get healthy enough. Jed Lowry was also another guy that was very, very, very key to teams, and I think he could have been definitely all-star material. And then you go into the other notable players like Reimold and Headley and Yunel Escobar, Brett Gardner, um, Lance Lynn, Marco Estrada, Michael Brantley, John Neese, Venable, Steve Pearce, Austin Jackson, Peter Borges, Chris Carter, Logan Morrison. For a while, he's pretty decent. Sergio Romo and Tyler Flowers. Again, all these guys are very, very key, very, very key to really their teams, and obviously still very effective to this day. And you just have to put these guys, all these guys there as recognition that this 2005 draft was definitely a very good talented draft for sure that came out to becoming just really, really good players. So give it up to the 2005 draft. Number six, the 1988 MLB Draft. Overall, this was another draft that I really liked. Andy Bennis, the number one overall pick at a time, was very special starting pitcher. Just didn't have the talent to really accumulate to being a type of Hall of Fame type career. Of course, you want to look at really the guys like Robin Ventura, Tino Martinez. They turned out really well. Um, and then you just get into like Arthur Rhodes, the guy that just never seems to stop relief pitching. Relief pitch till I think 45. It was incredible just seeing that. And then you have Marcus Grissom, very key piece of the Braves. Luis Gonzalez, I'd say the best Diamondback to ever put on that uniform. John Valentin, a very great position player. Jim Edmonds, great center fielder. Tim Wakefield, great starting pitcher, 200 wins on his belt. Kenny Lofton, he was always a threat to steal. Great key piece to the Indians. And Mike Piazza, Hall of Famer. He's in the Hall of Fame this year, and that's just saying something about just how all this collection of talent. It I think it really did matter in '88. Again, they had some key pieces that they drafted. There was a lot of guys that were definitely they were going to be the next best thing, and it didn't happen. Unfortunately, it didn't. But there was some really good picks in there, and that's why I think '88 definitely deserves to be there because they already are a nucleus. They already are pretty much done with their careers. Obviously, all those 2000s type teams, still teams that you don't know about really, and teams that are teams players that you just still developing, still seeing where they will end up. But overall, they do deserve to be deserves deserve to be recognized. It's just when you have a Hall of Famer in picked in the draft, it's just a lot harder to really not put them high up in there because Mike Piazza and like I said, Tino should be in the Hall of Fame. Some of these guys definitely should be a possible look to see if they can make the Hall of Fames for sure. Number 5, the 2007 MLB Draft. So this is actually a really fun draft to really talk about because it turned out to be extremely talented class. David Price, Cy Young Award winner, multiple All-Star, like one of the top starting pitchers in this league. Mike Moustakas finally breaks out. He's a star third base for sure. Royals need him, and I love watching Moose. He's awesome. Matt Wieters, star catcher. Love watching Matt Wieters. Power, just power. Some guys that have power that can hit, that are able to just impact, ball games. Madison Bumgarner, almost untouchable in that 2014 postseason in the World Series. No one can touch him. Madison Bumgarner, star starting pitcher. Jason Hayward. I wish he can get his offensive numbers up, but this is a guy that has potential to be top 5 right fielder in the game. He's a great defender, just needs to improve on the offensive side, but he's still, in my opinion, a star. Devin Mesoraco, great catcher. I really do like this guy. I just hope he goes to some other place where he can actually show his talent and showcase it to the world. Todd Frazier, the Todd father, home run derby champion. Fun to watch this guy as well. Travis d'Arnaud is also fun to watch for sure. Hopefully when he gets a lot healthier, we can see what he really can do. Brett Cecil is a quality relief pitcher. Sean Doolittle is a quality relief pitcher. Josh Donaldson, MVP. We all know what Josh Donaldson can do. He is unbelievable. He is the savior of Toronto, and yeah, he is. He is one dangerous man for sure. Jordan Zimmerman, just a class A starting pitcher. Giancarlo Stanton, he's a monster. He homers it 500 plus feet. He's dangerous. Freddie Freeman. It seems like he's been there in the league for 10 years, but this guy just continues to prove it, and he continues to put numbers. And I love watching Freddie Freeman. He's that hard, blue collar type baseball player you love. Zach Cozart. We'll see more if he can showcase more of him. Jonathan LaCroix. We remember him having so many. I think it was like he had like 50 something doubles or 60. I'm not sure. One year. He's a great catcher for sure. Corey Kluber, Cy Young Award winner, great pitcher. Jake Arrieta, Cy Young Award winner, great pitcher, top pitcher in baseball. Steve Chizik, great relief pitcher. Glad he's on the Mariners, awesome dude. Anthony Rizzo, star first baseman. Lucas Duda, power guy that can hit. Greg Holland at one point, one of the best closers in the game. Stephen Vogt, great catcher, star catcher in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a class that you really have to look. Like, you know what? There's some nice talent, just great guys that really can play baseball, and that's the case. This 2007 draft definitely was right. It was right to be in the top 5 for sure. Number 4, the 1965 MLB Draft. It's the first annual MLB Draft as well. and that's what's even more special about it. It's got to be in there just because of what they produced, and what they produced was pretty good, talented baseball players. Look, first of all, Rick Monday, first overall pick. I thought he had great years. He just could not capitalize on it. Unfortunately, Ray Foss, another guy that I think these guys, if they were just a little more consistent, they could have been on top of the world. They could have been one of the best baseball players out there, you know. But when you have a class that has Johnny Bench in it, Johnny Bench, first of all, Johnny Bench, I'd say like right there. If Yogi Berra is one, he's got to be like tied with him for first for the best catcher of all time by far. And when you have the best catcher of all time in the second round in a draft in the first annual one, that's saying something. Craig Nettles, we all know about him, star third baseman, great power hitter. Hal McRae, great DH guy. Um, Sal Bando was a key piece to the '70s A's dynasty over there. And then you just keep going down the line. You're like Darrell Evans, another guy that was in my opinion, should be in the Hall of Fame. Just overall, super dangerous and such an impact to the game. And you look at impact. How about having two pitchers, like the best pitchers of all time, pretty much, Tom Seaver and Nolan Ryan in the same class, along with Johnny Bench. That's what separates me from the other six classes right now. That's why they're number four. Is just for this one reason. Is that talented group is enough for me to put them at number four for sure. Number three, the 2009 MLB Draft. Hang on to your butts, my man. 2009 Draft was another star class. I think 2009 for sure. This was the start of great talented baseball players that were like, well, we'll see how it goes. It went really well. First of all, when your first overall pick is Steven Strasburg, right now he is pitching lights out. I'm glad he is. It's just saying something. Steven Strasburg, great. Drew Storen, great lead pitcher. Hopefully he picks it up though. Zach Wheeler is another guy I want him to pick it up. AJ Pollock, star center fielder. We all know about AJ Pollock. Had the chance of being an NL MVP type guy. I think he was a Gold Glover last year. I'm not too sure, but great. Shelby Miller. We'll see where he goes in his career. But overall, at one point, it was very special. Randall Grichuk, solid utility player, man. I really believe he will be a star for the St. Louis Cardinals. I really do believe it. Mike Trout, yeah, once in a generation type player. How about that? That's something that you can't get anywhere else. That's something that's very important. As Mike Trout in this draft is incredible. Garrett Richards, with all those injuries, he's one of the top 10 starting pitchers in the game. Brad Boxberger, great relief pitcher guy. And then you go down the list, like Billy Hamilton. Billy Hamilton, solid speed. I expect a big year from here next year. Nolan Arenado. This guy gets underrated, but this guy is a 40 plus homer, 120 plus RBI guy. Plays defense, everything. He's incredible. He should be an MVP player. Trace Thompson. Right now he's exploding, and I'm grateful that he's got it now. He's got it down. He's becoming a star, and now he doesn't need to be overshadowed by Clay as much. Jason Kipnis, all-star second baseman, great baseball player. DJ LeMahieu, great defensive second baseman. Patrick Corbin, we'll see where he goes. Kyle Seager, one of my favorite players to watch, third baseman for the Seattle Mariners, super important to them. Brandon Belt, a great first baseman. Dallas Keuchel, AL Cy Young, almost untouchable. I can't wait to just see what he does. Hopefully he picks it up. Chris Davis, pretty solid outfielder. I'm not gonna lie, he's a pretty solid outfielder, and I want him to get to the All Star because he deserves it. Paul Goldschmidt, NL MVP type caliber player, one of the top five first basemen in the league. Brian Dozier has proven his worthiness. Brock Holt, great great player for sure. Matt Carpenter, solid hitter for the St. Louis Cardinals. JD Martinez, we all know JD Martinez exploding with Detroit, and we'll see where he goes. He's a great baseball player that deserves everything he's getting right now. Trevin Rosenthal, pretty much a 40 plus save guy, so that's just in itself is very impressive to me. And then you go and you're like, hey, Jake Lamb, he could possibly be in for the All Star game. We'll see about it. Corey Dickerson, some guys that you don't know much about, but they're gonna get some attention. AJ Griffin, we'll see some of these guys here. And overall, just a great from just seeing it, it's a great draft, and it's a great thing that they did in '09. So props to them. Number two, 1981 MLB Draft. So this is definitely a draft that is into looking at, and everyone would love to know why I picked 81 over '09, and the reason is actually you'll see through the players that I have. First of all, Joe Carter, 1993 Chicago Cubs hero. Chicago Cubs, sorry, Toronto Blue Jays hero. Um, and just overall stud. Overall, you can't get anything better than that. But Joe Carter was more than just that. He had such a great career overall. Ron Darling, great career for that guy. Um, I think he kept it going. I feel like he should have been a Hall of Famer. Joe Carter should be a Hall of Famer in my opinion. Um, Tony Gwynn, how about having one of the best contact hitters of all time? Sid Fernandez, one point in his prime, he was almost unhittable really for the New York Mets. David Cone, another great pitcher. Paul O'Neill, we all know about Paul O'Neill, very effective for the Reds and for the Yankees. Shane Mack was once very, very, just a talented guy that people did not want to face. Um, when pitching. Just unfortunately, um, didn't have that big of a career for him. But as we go, John Franco, one of the best closers of all time. Devon White, at one point, he was very, very popular and very much a MVP type of guy. Mark McGwire, Fred McGriff, Lenny Dykstra, um, Roger Clemens. I mean, these guys all were just great athletes. And yes, I know all the speculation about Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire, but still, um, just having all those guys in there in '81, I think that was very key, and it's very key to have all those players. Um, so overall, yes, '81 definitely deserves '09 just because '81 has proven to be a lot of heroes, a lot of all stars, a lot of award winners more than '09, where they still have a lot to prove still, even with a once in a generation player like Mike Trout. Number one, the 2010 MLB Draft, and this will be holding down as the best draft of all time, just because in the end, by the numbers, there it's just going to be psychotic about how crazy talented this group was. First of all, in the first overall pick was Bryce Harper. Not much to say there, but just NL MVP, just stud star. Then his second is Jameson Taillon. Taillon right now he's trying to prove that he is worthy of the second round pick that he got. I think he can definitely do that. Manny Machado, talking about a great fielder, just a great overall baseball player that's just so dangerous. Matt Harvey, having him in the seventh overall pick. Delino DeShields, another star player. Yasmani Grandal, star player. Chris Sale, star player. Christian Yelich, star player. And then you go down, and you're like Noah Syndergaard. Yep, Noah Syndergaard, star player. Um, Taiwan Walker, he's gonna prove himself. Nick Castellanos, still gotta prove himself. I remember when he was one of the top guys. I was like, man, this guy's gonna be really good. And right now he's not many people know about him, and he's not really well known right now. But I really believe in Nick Castellanos to get back to where he should be, and that's a top prospect where he was. And then you're looking at Mike Olt, another guy that needs to get back to where he was. But as soon as you go back, you got Jed Gayorko, great guy. Drew Smiley, Andrelton Simmons, Addison Reed, J.L. Realmuto, Josh Rutledge, James Paxton, Eddie Rosario, um, Corey Dickerson, Jacob DeGrom, Cole Calhoun, um, Kevin Kiermaier, Evan Gaddis, Adam Eaton, Dalton Pompey right now is trying to get himself in there. AJ Griffin again. Um, Adam Duvall, Jock Peterson, Tyler Holt. It's just a lot of guys that are just stars that are still young, all these young guys, but they're going in the end going to make up all this is going to make up as one of the top classes of all time. And it's going to be scary good. They're going to be so scary good. Like I said, it's already scary good with the first round. The other notable ones are scary good as well. So I do believe in the 2010 MLB draft as the most dangerous and the most deadly, and they deserve to be number one for sure.